Well, of course, it's a grim time. We know that more people are dying because of COVID-19, over 10,000 confirmed deaths. Funeral costs, of course, are up, we understand, by as much as 25%, with extra fees for people who die of COVID-19. AVBOB Funeral Services says the cost of a regular funeral is now 12,300 Rand, excluding grave and cremation fees. The burial industry hiring many more part-time workers to cope with rising COVID-19 deaths. And to delve into this, I'm joined by AVBOB Funeral Services General Manager Pieter van der Westhuizen. Good evening, Mr. van der Westhuizen. First of all, is the industry busier than it's ever been? You know, we talk so much about COVID-19 deaths, but we also know that, the excess deaths is apparently up. Is this an unprecedented time for the funeral industry in terms of just how many people you are having to bury or cremate?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, we are much busier than we were in June. I said this afternoon, in May we had a fairly quiet month because of the total lockdown. Then came June, which was sort of an average month, not much than normal. But July was extremely busy. We had a real increase in the number of burials that we executed. But I just want to say, it is definitely not, to our knowledge, linked to COVID-19. I mean, we have experienced 10,000 deaths, tragic deaths to date. But the increase that we saw in July is much more than 10,000 COVID deaths that's been officially reported.
Are you saying that it anecdotally at least, it seems that possibly more than 10,000 people have died of COVID-19?
No, that's not what I'm saying. There could be other reasons for that. I mean, I'm just talking on behalf of AVBOB. I mean, it could be that people are looking for a trusted partner during this time. It could be that there's other related deaths. People are not visiting their health practitioners during this time because they're scared, and that could have an effect. I can only talk on the numbers that we see. Like I said, there's 10,000 people deceased on COVID. But the rise in deaths from our side are definitely much more than what that number will show. I mean, we bury on average 460,000 people per annum in South Africa, which, I mean, roughly relates to 40,000 a month. So the 10,000 deaths of COVID is about 25% of a month's deaths. And this is coming over a few months. So that's definitely not the reason why we saw this big spike in deaths during July.
And tell me, have your costs gone up?
We didn't increase our cost because of COVID. AVBOB has an annual price increase in July. We've increased our normal price adjustment in July, which is related to inflation, but we didn't increase our prices because of COVID. I mean, there's, unfortunately, for people that die of COVID, there's additional PPE costs that somebody needs to pay for. I mean, it's either the industry or the individual, but that varies. It depends how many people are involved and where the person died, and that could be from as low as 400 Rand up to a max of 1,000.
Okay, let's deal with the annual cost increase that came in July. What percentage was that?
That was 4%.
That was a 4% increase, and then you say that the increased cost. So this is specifically for someone who has passed away due to COVID-19. There are extra precautions. Just tell us about how those costs are worked out.
Okay, so I mean, if you just have a look at the number of people that must go and take a deceased into the undertaker's care, you have a minimum of 2 people. They need to have full gowns, shoe protectors, goggles, face masks. We as a company are using 3 body bags to make sure that our staff and our customers are safe. So, and then that's only at, let's say, at the hospital. Then when you get rid of that set of PPE at the hospital, so as soon as you get back to your mortuary, you need to have a clean set again to handle the deceased. Then there's some families want to do viewing. They need to get PPE, or you need to supply them with PPE to view the deceased. So the cost just adds up. unfortunately. But like I said, I mean, we try and keep it reasonable. We do not have a markup on our PPE. We need it. Our customer needs it. So no, I don't believe that cost. I saw the report, and I heard that people are talking about 25%. I don't think it's that's correct.
All right, so you dispute that report that burial costs are up by 25% at this point in time?
Definitely not from AVBOB side, definitely not.
All right, well, thank you for coming through to us this evening. Appreciate that. That's AVBOB Funeral Services General Manager Peter van der Westhuizen.